These people don't care. These people are evil. You've seen the video of the naval veteran, no criminal record, Abby Newman, Rockmount, Virginia, driving back to her farm with canning supplies. She comes to a checkpoint. You see it out of the squad car windows, the video we got. And they tell her, we want your ID, we want to search. She says, no, you can't. They jerk her out. She doesn't resist. They say they're going to charge her with resisting. They did. Jury found her not guilty. They're trying to get rid of those now and go purely admiralty. And then you see the cops standing behind the squad car. And they pull out a pocket Constitution. And they pull out Police State 2000. And they pull out Patriot Games, which is a Harrison Ford movie. And they said, I think this is illegal. And they had a pocket Constitution in their hand. A lot of you have seen the video. Well, this is the film we gave to the police that Kelly Rushing did. And they go, I think this is contraband. And they've got the pocket Constitution, and they start reading out of it. And one officer goes, well, I think maybe she's allowed to have that. Maybe that's why she's talking all strange. She's been reading that little book. That little book, you piece of trash, was the Constitution. And you're so warped. You're so sick. You're so mentally ill that you think it's illegal, and you took that woman to jail. And just like Mark, who called, and just like Kelly Rushing, and just like Abby Newman, you walk up and you apologize to these monsters. That's like when somebody punches you in the nose for no reason and you tell them, I'm sorry. You called back? Yeah. Stop making excuses for what they're doing to us. If you don't have anger over being a slave, and you don't have anger over being oppressed, there's something wrong with you. Tears my guts out. I feel like I've been robbed of a future. You think I like doing this all the time? You think I'm going to go work tonight? You think I like having to focus on what these people do? It's so bizarre. I mean, look at this article I've got. I read this on my Sunday KLBJ show that's syndicated around the country. And we had 5 people call in. The call answer person, it's not a call screener because we don't screen calls. So I can't call him a call screener. He said 5 people called in saying I was a liar or I was a traitor or I was bad about this story, but they wouldn't come on air and debate me. Now I want you to listen to the Associated Press. Okay, and they report this like it's no big deal. School safety drill upset some parents. Now I've now interviewed both these parents, one on air, one off air. Now, and I learned even more than what's in this, but just listen to this alone. Alone. And let me ask you this. Who were the terrorists? Who were the nuts? Who were the freaks? This little boy, this little 10-year-old got singled out in front of the class and sent to the principal for visiting 9/11 sites. But cops are allowed to do this. And by the way, this is under federal grants. We've talked about this a lot in the past. By the way, this is in Road to Tyranny. The police aiming machine guns at elementary school students as they cry in drills, unannounced drills. A full-grown man, and I would be shocked by a door busting open right now and 15 cops running in screaming at me, pointing MP5s. I mean, I guarantee I'd get a huge adrenaline rush and my heart would be pattering. You imagine this happening to 10-year-old children. This case had happened to middle schoolers, 11 and 12. Now, I want you to listen to this carefully, and we'll go to your calls. School safety drill upset some parents. Wyoming, Michigan. A school, that's kind of like California, Missouri. It's not to be confused with the state Wyoming. Wyoming, Michigan, a school safety drill that included police officers in riot gear with weapons has caused concern among some parents who say it was too realistic and frightened some students. Police in western Michigan community of Wyoming entered 2 classrooms at Lee Middle School on Thursday and announced there was a threat to the school, the Grand Rapids Press reported. Students who were unaware police were conducting a drill were taken from the classrooms into the halls, patted down by officers, and asked what they had in their pockets, the newspaper said. Again, unaware. The principal, David Britton, said students weren't told ahead of time to make the drill as realistic as possible. Principal David Britton, who we talked to, he's very proud of himself. See, they're that freakish. They think it's normal. I'm going to arrest you. You gave me a Ron Paul video. I want to put you in prison for 8 years. I want to ruin your life. I'm going to call my wife and make jokes about it. Man, they'll man the camps in 10 seconds, folks. And when it comes down to that, we got to fight them. You understand, they're gearing up all around you, and they got plenty of weak-minded people who at a subconscious level like the authority. And they love it. They love little kids down with guns to their heads. They love it. Let me keep reading this to you. Students who were unaware police were conducting a drill were taken from the classroom into the halls, patted down by officers, and asked what they had in their pockets, the newspaper said. Some of these kids were so scared they just about wet their pants. I talked to the mother who said this. The AP misquoted her. Her son was there. They peed their pants, and some of them pooped. I talked to one of the other parents, and the cops were yelling and screaming. We have video at other schools. Can you imagine little kids, guns to their head, being yelled at in a drill? Some of the kids were so scared they just about wet their pants, said Marge Bradshaw, a parent with 4 children in Godfrey Lee schools. I think it's pure wrong that the students and parents were not informed of this. Officers wore protective gear, including vest helmets, and carried rifles that were unloaded. Goes on. Diane Silva, who I talked to her, a parent of the 8th grade student, said the drill went too far. My child had his face to the wall in a hallway of the high school, Sylvia said. I certainly don't want anything like this happening to my child. Imagine, I'm talking to Sylvia after my producer talks to her, Diana Silva, and I go, let me guess, you told them they put a gun to your son's head. So we've talked to another parent. Yeah, they did, and they yelled at him. And I said, but the AP didn't say that, did they? See, it's always worse. And if you think this keeps your child safe to have a bunch of steroid head, ne'er-do-well cops, half of them probably just got back from Iraq where they're kicking doors down all day, breaking up families, putting hoods on heads, sending people to torture camps. And again, I'm not against our military. They're breathing DU. They're all given experimental vaccines. I feel sorry for them. But they come back, and either people drop out and get out of it, or they want more. They like it. They likes it. And next, it's your child sitting there, 10, 11, 12 years old. Sometimes they do it to people as young as 8. Just sitting there, and all of a sudden, boom, door. Cops run in screaming. I talked to a teacher. It was in the Pioneer Press, big Minneapolis paper, 3 years ago. They had cops practice being hostage takers without telling the school, and put a gun to her, said we were going to blow your head off, and the woman started having heart palpitations and passed out. Kids started screaming, yelling, pooping and peeing themselves. This was in the news. Hell, this is federal grants. They also, in these drills, don't let the children out for 8 hours without food. Sometimes they put them on buses and don't give them food. I have the articles. Go do the research. Live what I live. Know what I know. And they make the kids go in buckets in the buses or in the classrooms saying, we want you to know what it's like when the terrorists strike. And they have the kids go into bathroom in buckets. You can't make stuff up like this. You understand? This is real. And this is mind control. This is trauma-based control. It sets the precedent. They can do whatever they want. Hell, if they can set a precedent to do this, they can do this everywhere. I got another one here. We got to move fast. I said I'd take calls.